pineapple, watermelon, cantaloupe, pineapple, watermelon, cantaloupe.
Whatever works for you, bro.
Yeah. This is Unpause It, a podcast by a family of geeks.
I'm Lady Disdain, and I'm 43 years old.
I am the sauce underscore, and I am 11 and a half.
Underscore the data bytes 41.
I'm Furious Girl, and I am 9.
What are we talking about today?
Thor Ragnarok!
Now say it so we can understand it.
Thor Ragnarok. You can understand that.
It's a weird word.
Ragnarok. It practically rolls off the tongue.
So what is it? It's Thor. We're doing Thor Dark World?
Oh my god. Thor Ragnarok. Thor Dark World is literally the worst movie.
Spell Ragnarok.
It's not literally the word.
R-H-G... Wait, no. R-A-G-N-O-R...
Is it O?
is Q-Z-X. Wait 1 second.
I'm going to look against the case.
Dude, it's on your paper.
R-A-G-N-A-R-O-Q.
Ragnarok.
Yes, Q.
It's a K, not a Q.
But
The data bytes would say ring.
I am reading this off the cover of the case of the movie. The most fun you'll ever have at a Marvel movie. I am reading that off.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yes, I do.
It's really fun. Not as fun as Doctor Strange, but it is the best Marvel movie.
When did
Hey,
this movie come out, Willis?
we're getting right down to business because we need to know science. Go, Dad. Movie specs.
Okay. So, got there. 3rd of November, 2017. This was touted as needing to see this before leading directly into Infinity War, which we're all super excited about and counting these down until that happens in less than a week.
Days, minutes, Captain.
Mere days. Starring just about everybody in this one as well. But this had Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Kate Blanchett introduced as Hela,
Yes.
Idris Elba with a little bit better role, Jeff Goldblum as himself, basically in this one with a little blue stripe.
Right.
Tessa Thompson killed it as the Valkyrie. Carl Urban was cool. We have Mark Ruffalo as Banner, Anthony Hopkins again, Benedict Cumberbatch in a small little Doctor Strange role here.
Yes.
That was
Yay!
filmed at the end of Doctor Strange. Taika Waititi went in and had them film it while they were filming Doctor Strange.
Yep.
So when they talk about planning ahead for these things, way planning ahead. And as the voice of Surtur, Mr. Krabs himself, Clancy Brown.
Love that actor, dude.
That guy is so awesome.
Hey.
So the movie was hilarious. It opened up, we'll talk about that at the end and everything, but November 3rd, 2017, I remember it distinctly. Back,
Now that we're close enough in our past, we're like, I remember that day.
yes,
Fun.
back to the sauce.
Hola, because so that was the whole movie specs, all of it, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, good. Moving on to superpowers. Go.
There are new superpowers, it seems like, or at least formerly untapped superpowers in this movie, which is probably one of the coolest things that you see about Thor. So Thor, up before this, now he's obviously an Asgardian prince, a god prince, if you will. So he's very powerful. He's known as the god of thunder. You know, I don't think you're the god of thunder, but you ought to be. But he's also always wielded meow meow, which is Mjolnir.
Correct you on that. It's Lord of Thunder.
Well, he's called Lord of Thunder repeatedly, but he's the God of Thunder.
Nah.
So we see that Thor taps into this whole new level of his powers where he actually has, as Jeff Goldblum's character puts it, or the Grandmaster, sparkly thingies coming out of your fingers.
Be careful, his fingers sparkle.
That's right, but he does. He has actual lightning coming out of his body.
Yeah, it goes into this. Some of the favorite scenes will tap into this later. As far as the superpowers go, we're going to super villain powers. Hela has some sort of mystical, magical, something that ties in with some sort of something or other in the comics that gives her this massive amount of power. And the longer she's on Asgard, the more powerful she becomes. She's invincible, really, on Asgard. She is stabbed directly through the abdomen by an Asgardian warrior and doesn't die, and then kills them all. Kills the Warriors 3, which, by the way, are cool. They're awesome, but they were having trouble defeating a destroyer robot sent by Loki in the first one, And Thor was like, "Yep, here we go, and done. I just killed him. Take this guy home because that's how much more powerful Thor is."
I mean, he's a god, and they're just warriors.
That's right. But she dispatched every single loyal to the throne, if you will, Asgardian in that first one there. And as far as other superpowers, we have Hulk's Hulk powers and Valkyrie Asgardian strong as Thor maybe powers.
Stronger.
Pretty
But it's just that he is the god of thunder. That's why he's stronger.
Wait a second. So I think that Valkyrie is more ninja-like in that kind of strength, but Thor could beat her up with no problem, I assume. Well, this is my theory.
She captured him though.
So I'm gonna say what maybe Furious Girl's thinking. Do you remember when they're all flying the ships and they're trying to fly? I don't want to delve too much into like favorite battle scenes or anything, but they see Valkyrie, like her ship explodes and Banner and Thor are like, no, but then they just see her come falling down from it, grabs onto the outside of their ship. They're like, get in. She's like, not yet. And then she goes and like leaps. So she basically does all this stuff. And Thor's like, I should go help her. And they do the same things. So she does have, I feel like when you talk about powers, there could be, other than the thunder or the lightning thingy, probably some equality there, a good balance of they both are as strong as each other.
True. But I still think Hulk is actually stronger than Thor.
Stronger in strength.
But
I think if it was a fair battle and they were actually going at each other,
you don't think Thor, ultimately his knowledge of battle skills would like outdo Thor?
the more you injure Hulk, the stronger he gets.
No, that is kind of fair. But I want to say that you could knock out Hulk and he would be down for then.
You'd have to knock him out.
Yeah, you'd have to knock him
Go
out.
to sleep.
yeah, but that didn't make him. But I'd like to point out that he shoved Banner literally in the trunk, as Banner actually said,
Yeah.
because he was sleeping and Banner didn't come.
Yeah.
Right. He went to sleep and stayed Hulk for 2 years,
Yeah.
which we'll get into in the movie.
All right, so cool.
So we've been talking about this for way too long. On to weaknesses and vulnerabilities.
That's a good one. And this one,
I choose myself.
Go.
Weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Thor, he's not as much as beep as he used to be. Like,
jerk. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I should say. But he does have his weaknesses.
Right. He's learned a lot of lessons. He takes on Surtur, defeats Surtur, even though Surtur is in his weakened state. But what takes away his power? We're going to go into some of the favorite scenes. One scene that was in the trailers, we're going to talk about the trailer of this movie because it was probably the best trailers for any Marvel movie, including the Infinity War trailers, which are like goosebumply. This one had the Zeppelin song.
Oh.
It had a bunch of stuff in there. Spoilers. He loses an eye.
Yes.
And in the trailers, he had both eyes for scenes that he had already lost his eye, just making it pretty epic. I thought they did a great job in misdirection, just like Pixar did back in the day when they would make a trailer that would never show up in the movie.
Yep.
That was a thing that they would do. But he loses his power. He became subdued when Valkyrie captured him.
Well, a little.
He lost his hammer. He lost his father and was captured within a 30-minute span. You know, so he was emotionally weakened. Why couldn't he just overcome? He's the god of thunder. That's one of the things I have. Why couldn't he have just overcome the little neck jobber that the Valkyrie put on him?
I don't know.
Same thing. I mean, and maybe this is about him being subdued, but when he first lands on, is it Sakaar?
Yeah, Sakaar.
When he first lands on Sakaar, and, you know, obviously he's all distraught. He knows that Hela just went to, after his dad died, he knows that Hela just went to Asgard. So he's like, I just got to get back there. And all those kind of scavenger people who say, you know, are you fight or food? And he's like, I just pass.
Fighter or you food? Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just passing through. Food. And then they toss that like one net at him, which does bring him down. I don't know that he was going to make it out of that otherwise. Maybe he was feeling like, well, whatever. You were going to say?
He could easily overthrow it, that next thingy because it shocks him and he's the god of thunder.
Yeah, I wonder if he would have figured out a way to, I don't know.
I think you're right. I think he could have just summoned his full strength, which he did do in the arena, but it didn't shock it. But like focus it there. I wonder. But also, this is a movie about somebody on a different planet fighting a giant green rage monster. We're not going to get too hung up on details like
Yes.
that.
Okay, I would like to say something real quick. If he focused all of his chakra, we're gonna say or something. Chakras. All on
Chakras.
chakra. Oh my god. If he focused all of his chakras onto his neck, like he probably would have fried the obedience disc and it would come off, or it would damage his organs or veins and stuff. Oh, but I don't think he could have shocked the net or gone through the net. He's the god of thunder. I don't think paralysis sparks are much of thunder.
Right. This is his journey to find out his power without Mjolnir. So had he had his full realization of power when they netted him, he would have just fried them all from the net. Like the bridge scene, going through some of our scenes in here. He's coming through and the music's playing. It's all rock and roll. And he holds his hand up. And like 9 of those zombie guys just were vaporized.
Yeah. Who was the main villain? Hela, right? Goddess of death, whatnot, can kill people on sight, throw swords. Technically unbeatable, but she did get crushed into 1,000 molecules, so I guess beatable.
Did she? Did she though?
Yeah, I don't.
No, she really did.
I don't think she can. I don't think she comes back.
I like the whole premise of Hela. I think it's neat, and not like neat, like, ooh, cool, Odin lied to everybody. But Odin lied to everybody. She was the firstborn, and now you're thinking back to the first movie of Thor, and he's like, Thor's my firstborn, and he's getting all choked up when he seems like he's about to give him the ruling of Asgard and the 9 realms, and now you're like, that's not actually your firstborn, bro.
Wait. Was he getting choked up, or was he just overthinking? Was he just like thinking about it? It's like, the firstborn, ...
I don't know.
Ragnarok definitely makes Thor and Thor Dark World better movies. They tied some of the loose ends together and they didn't retcon anything. What does retcon mean?
Death.
That does not mean death. What does retcon mean?
I don't know.
Go back and change things that are different. So like, oh yeah, we have this thing. We got to make this fit in there. Kind of like the prequels in Star Wars, changing things. What was retconned in Star Wars was that Luke kissed his sister, or his sister kissed his brother. It was pretty gross.
Yeah,
Gross.
I'm not gonna do that ever.
Gross.
Agreed.
Good. No. Wait, who else is next on villains?
What about the Grandmaster?
Yeah, we need to keep talking about all that.
I say the Grandmaster is kind of mean and bossy and stuff, but I think he's just an idiot. Just like.
I kind of wonder if Jeff Goldblum just does not appeal to 11-year-olds. Because that was just Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that he
It was amazingly
typecast
hilarious.
in there.
Hilarious, but he was funny, right?
It was funny. He was a funny moron.
So, but he's a Grandmaster. He's the same species as the Collector.
I thought he was the collector.
You at first, right? But then it's just as like a cousin or some sort of distant relative, maybe, right? But he's ancient. He started Sakaar, right? So the word on the old inner Google webs is that they're actually Celestials. Like he actually is a Celestial, and that's how the Collector is in the brain of an ancient Celestial because he knew what to do and how to deal with all of that. It's kind of weird. Knew the Infinity Stones and things. But I would really like to see a small little Benicio del Toro, Jeff Goldblum, buddy cop movie, just those two guys for like a half an hour, being those two characters as much as they can. Maybe with Howard the Duck in there too.
I think that Sakaar is part of the Grandmaster because I can't remember the name of the other Celestial.
Ego?
Yeah,
Well, Ego is a Celestial, and then the Collector,
his planet.
Tenderly Tavon.
We'll let him. Perfect.
And the Collector might be a Celestial inside of a Celestial skull. And then Sakaar might be that.
Maybe. That's getting a little weird, but I could see them making that work.
See, I don't understand any of that. But just be honest.
That's fine.
Yeah. Wait. No. 1 second. What if the Collector if the Collector is a celestial, Do you think it was a celestial versus a celestial, and Noah got killed by the celestial that was? Wait a second. Yeah, that's Zeb. Okay.
The celestial got killed by someone.
Right. So that Noah was taken over by a celestial. That he's celestial.
Got killed by our next door neighbor Zeb.
Ah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, let's talk about the other bad guy.
Wait.
I think so. Basically, I think the collector killed Nowhere.
So Nowhere, the collector, and just claimed the whole, and started mining it and everything to feed his power and money for his collection. Gotcha. Very astute. How about Loki? Because remember, he comes in and Banner sees him. Last time I saw you want to kill him. He varies from moment to moment. So he is from scene to scene, a good guy one scene, an enemy in the other scene.
I don't consider Loki one of the main villains of
You're
this
wrong.
movie. I'm not wrong.
I don't consider him a villain either. Dad,
I think he's Loki. He's a normal
Mischievous.
yes, he's a normal character and doing all, but he's not the main villain as he was in the first Avengers movie. He's not that villain in this movie. Surtur is definitely a villain in this. He's the one who in the end he's destroying Asgard as the Ragnarok prophecy predicted, and also hopefully destroys Hela.
Asgard is not a place; it's a people.
It's a peeper.
People. That's what happens when you use a crazy voice. We can't understand what you're saying.
Grow some ears, Mom.
Grow some ears, Willie.
Learn to not mumble. Enunciation. So that's kind of all the baddies, though. Thanos
Grow smarter. Jordan.
shows up at the end, maybe. Thanos is kind of the underlying baddie of all the movies, right? Mostly. Even Ant-Man. No, not really.
Well-
But,
Well, he's always out there in the cosmos.
right. So, but we're going to talk about that at the mid-end scenes, whatever. But that's kind of one of the things the movie opens up with is Surtur's fight, right?
Bleh.
Because that's what heroes do.
Because that's what heroes. He never gets it right.
No, the timing is never right.
Yeah. Villain, blah, blah, blah. We've already talked about these. So, battle and fight scenes. I just know the fight scenes. Just go.
Like I was saying, Surtur at the beginning.
Yes.
So he's breaking the fourth wall, which the Lady Disdain loves. That's why we like Deadpool.
I do.
And the fourth wall is a theater term, George.
I know, it's in a cartoon show that's all about everything.
Okay, Georgia. One. Why? No, it's not even close.
Anyway, going on to 2, the Battle of Surtur is hilarious. It introduces that Heimdall is on the run.
Yes.
And then we have Scourge trying to impress some Asgardian ladies.
Oh my god.
We see Dez and Troy for destroy
And we
his
see a shake weight.
and a shake weight, which is hilarious.
Wait, was that Scooter?
No, that's
No.
when he's like doing that thing.
That was on Scooter.
Yeah.
He also had
Yeah.
like a British scooter in the back.
He did. He had a Vespa. That's an Italian scooter. But that's European. Same difference, right?
Yeah.
It's all across the
Kind of
pond.
like a motor scooter.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. And a bunch of other things that we never really kind of like scene by scene looked on there. But the best part of that whole part is the dragon is biting down on Thor and he just sets Meow Meow on the bottom jaw of the dragon.
Stick.
Boom.
That's right. Stay. Do you remember other battle scenes?
Grandmaster, also known as Thulk, Thor versus Hulk.
Oh, Thulk. The Thulk battle?
The Thulk.
That is great. That's probably my favorite battle other than the last one because there's so much to that where Thor is like, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
He's not British.
Yeah, you can't do a Thor Hemsworth. You can't do that one.
Yeah.
So the Chris Hemsworth, yeah,
That's fine.
totally fine.
Britishness.
No, but what did you guys think about that one? And also about that line there. Apparently, it was someone who had a Make-A-Wish, which granted was at the filming of that and said, "Hey, so why wouldn't he just say friend from work?" And they're like,
Yep.
"Why wouldn't he just say friend from
Said
work?"
that in the next cut.
So he gets it and puts it in there. So this kid is credited for I don't think he has a writing credit or anything, but Taika Waititi talks about this,
Yeah.
about going in there. What did you kids think about that fight? Epic fight.
I liked it. Oh, what did you guys think of it? The sulk. Sulk.
Give us some words.
I think it was really funny, and he was like, "You're embarrassing me. I said we were friends."
It's actually one of my favorite scenes.
Very nice.
So
Talk about it.
talk about favorite scenes.
No, just
No, talk about this scene.
Oh, this scene.
Right, yeah. Give us some
If
ideas.
you-
Give us some thoughts.
Don't answer with, if you don't know, don't watch this podcast and then you should watch the movie. Just tell
Okay, I'll tell you why. It's amazing. You're an idiot if you can't see that.
No, why is it amazing? How is it amazing?
I don't have to explain this.
What did you do? What made it
That's
amazing?
a part of life. Learning.
What did you laugh? What parts did you laugh at in that one scene?
Well, I didn't. Well, friends at work. Friends at work. That was pretty funny.
That was funny.
And
The ragdolling of Thor.
yeah, the ragdolling of Thor. Mainly, it was just a good scene.
Loki
That
freaking
I don't
out.
know how to explain it, dude. It's awesome. You all agree with me?
We all agree it's awesome.
Yes.
I really liked. You thought that when he approaches him and he's like, "Hey, big guy, the sun's getting real low," and you're like, "Oh, he's doing the lullaby. This is
Only works with.
only works with Nat."
someone.
And then he gets up there, and don't you just? It really. I'm laughing thinking about it when he's standing there and he's just smiling at him, just like a teddy bear. And that's right when Hulk's like, "Zoop, go." So it just went total. It fell to pieces, but that was so funny, that build up to it.
That is one of my particular favorite scenes.
I like it because my favorite part of that scene was when when Thor was getting ragdolled, Loki was like, "Yes, that's what it feels like." Nah.
I'm just a really big fan of the sport, he says. But apparently that was the exact same animation. They just kind of plugged it into there and changed a little bit of the effects.
And just one last thing on that too. I love where Loki, his whole response is to seeing Hulk is the champion. When he comes in, he's like, "I must get off this planet." Because he's scared of Hulk. 'Cause Hulk is one of the only people that's ever put Loki in some big time hurt, is because of the ragdoll thing.
That was so good.
It was so good.
It was well done. The kids really loved it. I think we're getting to that impression here. Any other battle fight scenes? We don't want to talk about just the fighting in battle, because I think we're going into favorite scenes, because the rest of the scenes that are favorites pretty much are the fight scenes, except for
What do you think?
when Hulk goes back into Banner. That was comedy gold.
Are we on favorite scenes now?
What do you think?
You're driving. You should know these things.
We're switching to. So, favorite characters and scenes in that friend.
Right.
So
many.
There are.
I'm going to go first. I have, give me a sec, 6. One of them I have already stated. So, first one is when I got teleported to the sanctum.
Oh, right. And
Yeah,
he's,
yeah, yeah,
why are you doing that?
Yeah, but here's my favorite part of that. No,
What do you drink?
no,
Not tea.
that's not my favorite part.
Wait,
Okay.
your turn.
Yeah. So my favorite part is like you could just as an electronic message called an email. Do you have a computer? No. What for? That was swallowed
Nice
at that.
Thor Hemsworth
That was
there,
funny.
Right.
And in the Quinjet when he escaped to the room of death. Yeah,
Right.
in the Quinjet. Yeah, he's like strongest Avenger, Thor Odin's son, and he's like
Damn you,
curse.
Stark.
Yeah, I can't say that. Damn you, Stark. Oh, I just said it. God, I didn't mean to. It was just in my head. Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah,
What did
okay.
he say?
curse you, Stark. And
What's his password?
I don't remember.
Point Break.
Curse you, Stark. Point Break. Okay. So, oh my God, the story of Loki and Thor as a kid. Thor went over to a snake. Thor went over to Loki, which was now a snake. Thor picked up the snake, and Loki transformed back into his normal self.
And
And,
stabbed him.
oh, it's me.
And we were 8.
And they were right.
Younger, 1 year younger than Furious Girl. That's not right.
I stabbed Lewis in the face once.
Oh, that brings
And
up.
he stabbed me with knives.
That brings up the thing.
True facts.
Loki is really talented with magical skill when he is young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Magic,
yeah,
so
yeah, but I'm not getting off topic. Thor You all remember when Hulk turns back into Banner? You remember that?
Yeah.
And then that moment where they're just talking like, "Oh, this is stressing me out." Ah.
Oh, the green vein shows up.
No. Before like that,
Before that.
that and a little before and everything.
Oh, I don't have to. You don't have to think about it at all. And he turns the corner, and then the green powder, and then all the Hulk faces everywhere, and the Hulk party on Sakaar.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm not done yet. And I loved Get Help.
Oh, we're not doing Get Help.
Yeah. So Get Help is basically Thor picks up his brother Loki and
Throws him as a weapon.
we know Get Help, but as he throws him, it's like help him.
It just kind of knocks Loki out like, I hate this.
Help him. Oh, it's embarrassing. Not to me, it's not. Okay, and that's all. Go, Georgia.
Hello, peoples.
Tell us what your actual note is.
Stuff. Okay,
That's a reminder. Stop.
so here, the first one is, this isn't an order from the movie.
That's
This
okay.
is just random. When Thor's like, I am the god of thunder, sparkle, sparkle. I didn't hear anything, but I saw sparkles coming out of those things. I liked it when he's like, where Banner's all freaking out on Sakaar, and he's just like, but these are Tony's clothes, and he's wearing them, and he's like, Tony wears his pants really tight, and he just keeps.
There was a couple of other scenes in there where he wasn't saying anything, but he was kind of tugging on some
himself,
things, and
yeah.
we're just like, whoa, dude, come on. Way to make it pay off, though.
I also like it when the Valkyrie she's like, I feel like I know you too. It's so weird. And then she just goes and drinks some drinks.
I know, they're getting fun with that. It's funny.
I also liked it when they were huddled together and he was like, I feel like that guy is gonna try to kill us. He attempted to kill me many times. There was this one time when he transformed into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes, so I went over to pick up the snake, and then he turned back and he was like, no, it's me, and then he stabbed me. And they were like, ew.
No.
Yeah, that scene resonated with the entire family, I think.
Yes.
All right, do the Danish.
So talking about that scene, when Banner and Valkyrie are like, do I know you? I feel like I know you too. They're like going into a party somewhere. It's like, do I know you? I know you from somewhere. And they're all in a really good mood and they're on the same side. They really like each other. We don't know how the Valkyrie got Hulk into the championship. I'm not 100% sure he was captured like, Thor was.
He was Romanoff?
No, I don't think so either. We don't know. We can suppose and we can kind of maybe ask or, put that out there into the Twitterverse. What are your thoughts on how Hulk became the champion there? He was captured somehow,
Right.
but nobody could, contain him. If he really wanted to get out, he probably really could just leave, but he likes being there. So he's worshipped as The Rock type figure. He's super popular and everything. But that scene between Banner and Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie, was amazing. Just the camaraderie, and watching it a few more times, just like, oh yeah, I know you. Like she's just like, they're like so friendly with each other, and it really comes across on the screen. I thought it was really well done. I have a couple of notes here. The hammer in the dragon's mouth we talked about, so good. What hasn't been brought up yet was the play
Oh my god.
right after the dragon's mouth. So we got the play. We haven't talked about the play yet. Who's in the play?
Matt Damon. Sam Neill.
Sam Neill,
And the oldest Hemsworth.
the oldest Hemsworth.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, it's from a movie you haven't seen yet.
Which you probably won't see for several
Right.
years.
Durka. So, yeah, my dog's name was Durka because of that movie. If you know what that movie is, send us a postcard.
Okay. So I'm gonna say another favorite scene that I forgot to write down, even though it's not that time.
Totally say it.
Yeah, okay. So when Thor said, you know what, Earth does hate you, and then they all walked to the bed, Like, you know.
Oh, and he's like, huh.
Wait. And then Thor goes and sits beside him. Thor goes and sits beside him, and Thor goes and sits beside him.
Yeah, that's
And
the raging fire.
no, well, that is part of it. But no, when when Thor sits down, Hulk looks at him and then turns his head. Just,
Like, no, leave me alone.
Right, that was a great
he did
performance.
say, no.
Yeah. So the play I thought was so well done, and then that introduces into when Anthony Hopkins is Loki, like what happened to Thor. That's what you got that makes the Dark World much better. Like, oh, that is Thor. What happened? What happened to Odin? He must have been, Loki's pretty powerful himself, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, we can edit it. Oh, it's like, he's like, hey, I've been back and everything, and the play scene was hilarious. 177A Bleecker just kept on, transforming him and messing with him. And at the end, he's like, don't forget your umbrella. And he's like, holds his hand out. Sorry. And it was such a sorry, not sorry moment. I was like, you kind of got what you wanted.
Yeah, you deserved it, Strange.
And then something that probably Lady Disdain's going to talk about is they got the rights to the music from Willy Wonka when he's on the chair going through the fake tunnel or whatever.
That's all I'm going to do of it, because if I do any more, we'll get hammered.
Right.
We'll get sucked into inverted space.
Get copyrights.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then, the God of Sparkles, Lord of Thunder, and all those kind of, crazy quips in there. But one thing that I didn't catch the first time I saw it, or second time, 7 PhDs for Banner.
It's a lot of PhDs.
It's a lot of studying.
He's very smart.
Brilliant.
He's smarter.
So the question out there, we need to maybe find a way to make a poll on this. Who's the smartest? After Infinity War, we might have a poll somehow, somewhere, maybe on YouTube.
That's different than the poll.
Is Stark, Banner, or Shuri smarter? Shuri's definitely youngest,
Yeah,
so
Shuri
she
is-
could become the smartest.
I feel I need more information.
She is the smartest because she has a small brain.
Why does she have a small brain?
Why?
She's younger.
A less developed
Your
brain and time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to say that Banner is the smartest, but because Siri is a different kind of technology. But in time, Siri could learn to be compatible with both technologies.
Right, that's kind of what I was saying. She's young. She has time to actually expand her knowledge.
I think if Shuri had been around when Vision was being made out of vibranium, she would have been like, I got this. Everybody move away. So, there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Totally.
She understands vibranium.
Dude, yeah, she understands vibranium. She's like Mozart with music. She's a vibranium chick. Okay, may I do my favorite character scenes and lines? So you mentioned that Clancy, what's his face, Clancy Brown?
Mr. Krabs?
That he's the voice of Surtur.
Yes.
Where I love where he's like, oh, I thought those were antlers. It's a crown. It's like, and then
With a giant eyebrow.
I thought that was trying about it's a crown. And just sits there, and just the beat of it was like, oh, okay. Calm down there, buddy.
And that guy plays like the gnarliest. If you ever watched The Punisher, he's a bad guy in that one. He's in Highlander.
He's in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, and he does all these voices, and he's hilarious.
He's really good.
Mr. Krabs. Yay.
He likes money. All right. I loved in 177A Bleecker Street. Is it Beaker or Bleecker?
Bleecker.
I love in 177A Bleecker Street where he's like, oh, and I'll probably need my brother. Oh, right. And he lets Loki reappear, and Loki, I have been falling for 30 minutes. I love that because I'm like, not sorry, bro, because you kind of earned it. I really love the scene of Odin's exit. I love when he has them and they meet him on that cliff top in Norway and just have that really quiet moment. I think both Thor and Loki, the actors who play them, I think they did an exceptional job. Thor is just all about, Father, we're going to bring you home. You can tell Loki is feeling shame. He's like, this is my fault, you know?
Yeah, but he kind of revels in that too.
But yeah, but he loves his dad regardless. And when Odin finally does disappear and they both just stand and rise at the same time, that's one of my favorite moments where they both stand and move forward. And then the weather starts rolling in, and had Hela not shown up, that might have been a bad news fight for Loki.
Yeah.
Thor was ready to roll.
Maybe.
Okay.
So Helen was good in that part.
Well, she may have saved Loki's life in that one moment, but she was ready to kill them both.
Yeah.
Again, we know each other. He's a friend from work. Excellent line. That made it in the trailer. It was just like, ah. So props to the Make-A-Wish kid who suggested that. That is a lasting legacy there. If you didn't notice, and I did add this, by the way, to the IMDb trivia, that when Valkyrie shows up in her ship, and she is drunk off her butt, by the way, because she falls off her ship,
Yes.
where she's like, he's mine. If you want him, you're going to have to go through me. And they're like, food. And they start going to her, all right, fine, I'll go through you. Does anyone else remember another character in Avengers or in Marvel Universe where someone else said something similar to that?
Raccoon.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
So that's right out of Guardians when they're in the kiln.
Known as Furry MacGyver.
Furry MacGyver.
Oh, my It's Nick Fury, not Nick Fury.
Anyway.
Love, I'm surprised the Dad Abides didn't bring this up when Thor, he's left alone in Hulk's apartment and he calls on Heimdall. And Heimdall's able to give him his vision for a little bit. And so it's as if Thor is there on Asgard and feeling all that. I love Loki's response where Banner comes in. He's like, Loki, well, you're kind of on good side, kind of on the bad side. What side are you on now? It varies from moment to moment.
In this movie, it does.
And it's right.
It totally does.
And lastly, favorite line, probably my favorite line in the whole movie. Are you Thor, god of hammers? And you're like, of course he's not. It's just that moment where Odin's like, you're not a god of hammers. You're a god of thunder.
Right.
Own it. And you're stronger than me. It was just great. All right.
So, mid/end credit Stanley cameos. Okay, so Stanley cameo. Who wants to do it? Who wants to explain it? Oh no, I want to explain this. Stanley says he's gonna cut Thor's hair. Yeah, Stanley says he's gonna cut Thor's hair, and Thor's like, "You will not cut my hair." And then Stanley shows his many blades, which
he's got that arm full of all these-
he can like kill his head and face off right then. And then Thor switches to like nervous. Please don't cut my hair, kind sir. Yes.
What does Stanley say?
What did you rate it?
10. I wrote 9, but I meant 10.
Okay.
Would you rate it?
10 out of 10. Ha ha. Happy face.
What? The Stanley cameo.
That's
Yeah, why?
that's what
And then what about the second one?
she's just reading her notes. It actually says 10 out of 10. Ha ha.
Well,
happy
let's finish
face.
with the cameo. What did Dad Abides rate with the cameo?
I rated it a 10. It was perfect. Hilarious. The shows off the comedic timing of Thor Hemsworth.
Thor Hemsworth. Thor. And I also gave it a 10 out of 10. So obviously we all liked Stanley cameo.
I like him.
It was very good.
Who do you want to do?
Mid-credit scene,
Who do you
right?
want to explain mid-credit scene?
The giant ship, they're all talking. They've changed. To go kind of back a little bit, you pan across the ship and you see the little spaceship, the pleasure cruiser from Sakaar on top of the ship. That's how Loki gets there, because when they take off, Loki's still on Asgard.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, did he die on Asgard with everybody else?
Right.
But then it pans across that ship, and he's got the Grandmaster's pleasure yacht, like, docked to the ship. So that's how he got there. So the mid-credit scene is Thor and Loki.
There too.
We're going to go to Earth. You know, we probably shouldn't take me to Earth. Yeah, we're probably okay, whatever. And then it goes into that giant ship facing him down. I think it's called the Sanctuary.
Sanctuary 2.
Sanctuary 2. That's Thanos'
That's been confirmed.
ship. Yeah. That is Thanos' ship. That's Thanos in there. So that leads directly into Infinity War. They said this. See Thor Ragnarok if you want to see Infinity War. It leads directly into it.
So second mid credit scene.
Well, did you rate the first one, or what are we doing?
Oh, okay. Let's all rate the
I was
first one.
explaining that one.
Okay, let's all rate the first one. 8.5 for me.
Okay.
Undecided. We'll see what happens in Infinity War. I just can't get it out of my head. It's just a big ship. Huh. Okay. Are they destroyed? What happens? So I need to know that before I can rate this one. It definitely is a tidbit of important information, so it's good.
The one we're
7 out of 10.
Okay.
It was good. Good point. A good point of
Yeah.
information.
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I remember before that was confirmed that was Thanos' ship. I was just like, is that Thanos' ship? Oh my gosh, maybe it is ship. I think it is. And so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because the anticipation factor was high.
So second mid/end credit scene. So it was when Grandmaster was up against those guys wanting to fight their food. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I can't have a revolution without someone to overthrow, so yeah, it's a tie. I rated that a 0 because it was absolutely beep.
I rated it 0 out of 10 because I hate the Grandmaster.
Yeah, like 10 out of 10.
I gave it 5 out of 10 because it was just like, oh, and you're pretty sure that Grandmaster's probably now going to die.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
If you watch the special features, he moves to he takes over Thor's place in his apartment.
Oh, no way.
He's the new roommate.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, in this whole but I give it a 7 out of 10 because you can't get enough Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum. You just can't get enough of that. Like I said, I want to see more of those characters, those weird characters having their own little fun adventure somehow. I don't know how that would happen, but maybe it can. Now we're gonna go to our final rating, or we're gonna talk about half-hour screen time.
Okay, let's do half-hour screen time, then final rating. So for me, it's undecided. It's always just random.
True. Okay. Well, what are you randoming between? Because you played Arkham Knight, right?
Yeah, Arkham Knight takes too long to set up, so probably not Zelda, not Arkham Knight. Maybe I'll probably spend it on YouTube.
You've been spending a lot of time on YouTube. We gotta switch things up.
Although he does laugh a lot at YouTube.
I know. It's crazy.
I like it.
Annoying.
Dude, I can show you this one episode. If you don't laugh, you are stony-faced and get out of this house.
No.
So,
No.
Dodo, what's your half-hour screen time?
Mine is Animal Jam Play Wild on the computer on online, and you can't say curse words, so it's happy. And I'm buddies with my friends at school.
Nice. That sounds like good times. We have a day off of school this week, so they're gonna get paid a little bit more half hour tomorrow. There's gonna be some outside time too.
So, it's time.
Yes.
I couldn't really think of anything, but this is the rating. I rated it 10 out of 10. Beak monsters.
Big.
Big.
Meek or beak?
Meek.
No. Big monster. Remember when Hulk went up and killed? Yeah.
Monster.
Big monster. But big monster. No.
Big
monster.
Big monster.
What he's saying, I don't understand.
Big
monsters. At
Big.
the end, when he was fighting Surtur and actually doing damage against
And
Surtur.
Thor's like, stop.
Right. There's another thing where it's like that leads into Hulk is stronger because he's basically doing damage to an indestructible fire being. I gave it a 9.5.
9.5 out of 10.
Not 10. Only because the first time I saw it, I missed so much because I was laughing so hard.
I'm going to add some more to what happened in that scene. He was just this tiny little green dot flying in the sky, and it touched his nose, and he was like, and I really love that part because how can a tiny little green dot do such big damage to a giant lava demon?
And I think to point out, he was doing damage because he was like punching holes in his crown.
That's what I'm saying.
And his crown was a source of power.
That's right.
So if he killed that, basically, he killed out everybody because Hela, yeah.
But you know what we need? Lady Disdain's rating.
I didn't rate it.
Okay, go. Read it.
Oh,
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I saw your 10 out of 10, so I figured you rated it. My bad.
Well, I think we may have found the highest rated Avengers movie among Unposit thus far. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Yes!
Big monsters.
So I remember seeing this in the theater, and it was a good time had by all. Everyone enjoyed themselves immensely, and the first thing out of the sauce's mouth was, "We are buying this movie."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dad was like, we're going to buy every Marvel movie. And he was like, yay!
Yeah, we do that anyway, but the old sauce here was super stoked out about this. Now, looking some things up. I haven't looked up the Infinity War casting or whatever, but I do want to get some of the kids' reactions and some of their best movies, because we're going to go, we need to go through and do our rundown from our blog of what our highest rated movies were and lowest rated movies were. Mm-hmm. Now, kids, this is the entire MCU up to Infinity War. We have seen Black Panther, haven't seen it many times on our own screens and everything,
Just once.
but I would like you guys to talk about what you think about this whole MCU thing. I know you guys hate Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
things like that, but kind of just give me a few words on describing the MCU movies. And there's 18 of them.
I'm also going to say something right now. The lowest movie I rated was Thor: Dark World
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it's a
of-
horrible movie.
because of Mr. Laserbeam Eye.
Laser beam eye. But he has no pants. I better get my pants. He's got great lines.
Yeah.
So, but this one is your favorite movie of all of them, right? Sauce?
No, every movie of all time. It's my favorite movie.
This is his Empire Strikes Back for me.
Wow.
Because that's my favorite movie of all time.
I think this is better than Doctor Strange. It's just that Doctor Strange is my all-time favorite, but I think this is a better movie.
That is a fair point.
So, yay!
If you guys had, let's say this one's not on the table. If you guys had to pick a movie in the Marvel universe of all the ones that we've reviewed so far, and it's not Thor Ragnarok, that you had to watch every day for a week, which one would you pick?
Besides Thor Ragnarok?
Doctor Strangeness!
I want to say Guardians 2, Spider-Man, or Black Panther. Probably Black Panther.
Nice.
Black Panther is my number 2, but Doctor Strange is my number 1.
Wait, it's for me it's Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, and I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
I'd probably pick Guardians of the Galaxy to watch every day for a week.
Which one?
The first one.
Oh.
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh.
All day long.
Oh, yeah! Damn on it!
That one's good.
Yeah, that's my favorite one still so far. Also, next question. Hopefully we have enough time for this. Infinity War predictions. Willis, what do you think is going to happen that's going to blow your mind? And what do you want to happen, whether it will or won't?
I want Tony Stark to die.
And what do
And I want Thanos to lose, and I want Ant-Man to beat up, to turn big, either smash Thanos or turn small and surprise Thanos with his strength.
The Ant-Man doesn't happen because he's currently in different things, I do believe. And,
That's not an unreasonable position.
Sure.
what I want is Tony Stark to stay alive because Tony Stark has to be in one of the last movies because he started it, must end it. And I think Thanos does win, but I don't want him to. And I want to see Captain America punch him in the face and do damage just like Hulk did to Surtur.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like,
See kind of Cap hold his own a little bit.
I'd like to see, which I don't think I will, but I would like to see Gamora get some revenge on Thanos.
Right?
Oh!
You talk about anyone in that whole sector of heroes who had the most direct impact from Thanos on her life, and that was her. He killed her parents. He turned her,
entire species.
killed her species, turned her into a machine.
turned her into a weapon.
Yeah. So I would like to see some vengeance happen on that, and for her. And
I think she should be the one to stab him in the face and cut off his head.
and I don't want Doctor Strange to die.
I don't want Doctor Strange to die either, because he's my favorite.
Well, he does have the Infinity Stone.
I'm still talking, Willis.
Keep going.
I think the one who wants revenge on Thanos most is Nebula because
Nebula.
she's actually a living cyborg.
Yeah, she
Right.
kind of got the.
She's in
shorts down.
permanent pain and just wanted a sister and family.
He doesn't have a real brain, remember?
It was taken out and something else was put in. Yeah, she is not who she was when she was younger. That's a good one. That's
That
a
is really
really good one.
You're welcome.
Now, not how many people are going to die, not how many deaths there are going to be. You know what I mean? But how many superheroes, we can consider Nebula one of our superheroes. Anybody but Thanos and his Black Order, which I think are 5 of them. How many are going to die?
3.
We have 3 from Lady Disdain.
I believe 12 just because, well,
12.
it's Thanos and the Black Order. You can't expect only 3 people to die from that.
237.
Give me a real number of unexpected. There's only 78 characters, dude.
Only 78.
1.
Okay.
What?
What about you?
I'm going to say 6.
Ooh, do you have a pulse on which 6?
No, I'm pretty sure Cap does die, and I'm pretty sure Iron Man does die too
Tears.
in the end. I have a strong feeling that Black Widow does not make it through.
Ooh.
Tears some
Ooh,
more.
that's new.
Yeah,
What about Scarlet Witch and Vision and all the other people?
Vision definitely makes it in this one, in my
And
opinion.
You dies. I believe he still survives because he face planted into the universe and didn't die.
You think Heimdall dies?
Yes.
No!
Now,
He has the soul stone.
I am concerned that instead of going to have all of these Asgardians that were saved make it to Earth, that they all die. That would be Heimdall,
Just all the common folk.
all the common folk and everything. I'm hoping that's not exactly what happens at all. I'm hoping that Loki saves him somehow, and that that's how he dies, and Loki
Yeah.
actually
Maybe.
does a good thing for his people instead of just being grandiose about it. However, I have a feeling we have absolutely no clue, and none of us are right on this, and it looks like it's gonna be great.
Well, now
I'm
in
going to
4
count
days.
all the heroes who die, and if it's closer to 12 than 3, 1, or 6, yay, I get a popsicle.
Cool. We're gonna talk about some box office numbers for this movie. You kids can go chill out or hang out here if you want. Well, I think that discussion went well.
I do too. Wow. Everybody's changed their predictions, it seems, a little bit. So.
Oh, it changes every moment. Tomorrow, it'll be like Captain America lives and then actually wields the Infinity Gauntlet and becomes a new overlord for the entire universe. Who knows?
I would say this one did pretty well.
Yes. Domestically, it made $315 million.
Wow.
Foreign, it made $540-ish, $538 million for a total of $854 million.
Wow.
It'd be kind of nice if we can get some of that money. Just a little bit. Just saying. But opening weekend was $122 million. By far the biggest Thor opening. And it was in the middle of, well, the beginning of November, right after Halloween.
Yeah.
So it's right before the holidays. People are under crunch time. Weather's not the greatest.
Yeah.
It opened up great. Now, this movie opening up in Prime it might have done a little bit better box office, but it did great. And we're kind of, I don't know, I've been reading some Forbes articles about Infinity War. And if it doesn't make $2 billion, it's a failure. It's like, if it doesn't make this much money, if it doesn't set all these records, it's a failure. It's like,
Why?
Yeah, why?
Like, I'm sorry, is somebody gonna go bankrupt if they don't make $2 billion?
Yeah, Disney's not hurting
Yeah,
for any
no.
of this stuff. Okay.
So that
But
counts.
it was in theaters for 19 weeks, which is lower than some of the other ones because we had, after this, The Last Jedi came out, and then also Jumanji. So that was like over a month later. So it had a lot of competition over the holidays, but it made tons of money. It's a better movie than The Last Jedi is so far as a movie-going experience. You want to see it more and more time, you have a good time. Last Jedi is dark. The Last Jedi
Yeah,
is
it
like
is.
people actually die.
I will say I had some on a message board, and someone mentioned that this was just this last week, they had just seen this movie.
Oh, wow.
And they said they had, yeah, they're like, I did not expect to like any movie that much because they're thinking, oh, the kids will like it. It's a superhero movie, and I should see it before we, Infinity War, because they want to see it. And they said they were so entertained. It was such a completely, wholly entertaining experience. So it really does. It hits all those moments.
Right. And this is the culmination of 18 podcasts now for our series 1. Hopefully, you guys go back and listen to our progression on our technology getting better and our cadence getting better and me yelling at my kids less, Gah! But,
Well, they get to yell at us next.
true.
On the next series.
True. So we only got a couple more of these times where it's just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm building Minecraft. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't understand. What does it mean?
It's going to be quite silly. So box office predictions are now, there's a thing, it changes all the time. It's now trending to make as much as $270 million in the opening weekend. That's pretty much every theater that it's in selling out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's pretty crazy. It's possible, I guess. I don't think it will do that kind of money, but if it's good, if it's really good, I'm interested to see what the second weekend drop would be on a movie like Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I don't really care, but I'm not getting any of this money. But if it's really good, we're gonna get more things like this out here.
Right.
So just for instance, it's about a 50% drop normally. Thor Ragnarok dropped 50% and was $57 million at the second weekend.
Right.
Right. I have a feeling that it's gonna make $240-ish million the first weekend, and another $200 million the next weekend.
Wow.
It's got Deadpool coming up against it, and then Solo, and it's gonna make $2 billion worldwide before the end of summer.
Well, I know at least two Well, 6 tickets have already been contributed by this family by Imposit. So the Dad Abides and myself are going to go see Infinity War this Friday night at Alamo Drafthouse, Denver, which is in Littleton, Colorado. Shout out to the Alamo, and they were so cool. I actually emailed them just to say, hey, we have a podcast. This is kind of culminating the first series of it, and we're going to watch. Would you guys mind if we bring a little very, clandestine mobile microphone and maybe do some, audio polling after the movie of people who were in the theater with us? We'll definitely not be anywhere where, people coming in would get spoilers. And they were totally cool with it. They're like, yes, let us know when you share this out. You're welcome. We'll see you. So, and you and I have seen Alamo movies, or movies at the Alamo rather, for a long time, including Deadpool, which is also where we're going to go see Deadpool 2. So big shout out to the Alamo, and hoping to get some more movies in there, because that really is a fantastic place to experience a movie if you don't want to see 17 previews.
It's the best. Maybe, the screen technology may not be the best, but it hasn't really...
The whole package is good.
Exactly. I'm looking at the credits casting list for Avengers Infinity War. Wow. Nebula, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, Thanos, Bucky the White Wolf, he's not a White Wolf, whatever, Laura Barton. Everyone's like, where's Hawkeye? Where's Hawkeye? Where's Hawkeye?
Uh-oh.
Laura Barton's in it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, his wife is in it.
Uh-oh.
Because he's not been in any of the promotional.
Yeah.
Right? The Mantis, Gamora, Iron Man, Loki, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, Groot, Shuri, Heimdall, Okoye, Vision, Hawkeye's listed,
Okay.
Drax, Ant-Man, The Collector, Friday, the
Nice.
voice of the Iron Man, Rocket, Happy, Pepper, Peter Dinklage. He's one of the perhaps the Black Order,
Nice.
Hulk, Ramonda, that's from Black Panther, Hank Pym. Proxima Midnight is Carrie Coon. That was just recently, like within the last 2 weeks, whatever, released. That's who she's in there. We got Rocket in there. M'Baku. My favorite character from Black Panther. M'Baku, for sure. Falcon, Wong, War Machine.
It says Sean Gunn is Rocket Raccoon.
Sean Gunn does the on stage. He wears the motion cap thing.
Okay, so he's not the voice.
Bradley Cooper does the voice. Sean Gunn does the on stage thing.
Very good. Okay.
Because he's got to squat down for hours at a time.
Wow.
We've got Ned, Spider-Man's friend.
Oh, Ned.
Yeah.
The guy in the chair.
We got Ebony Maw. Now we're getting into some lower end ones here. Tons of people in this one. Tons of people. And this isn't even a full list because they haven't really released everything really yet. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you all too. Thank you for listening to Unpause It Podcast.
This has been a long set of movie reviews.
Right.
We've enjoyed seeing the whole thing all together. I do feel, though, man, I feel prepared for Infinity War.
Yeah, we're going to get into some more pop culture things, video games, books, outdoor culture life, and Denver Comic-Con.
Yes, we are media for Denver Comic-Con, so we're going to be not only doing cosplay, but we'll be there covering stuff, interviewing some of the artists, hopefully interviewing some of the stars. I showed the kids the rundown of the list of people that are going to be there. They started freaking out because they recognize people. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And they're like, I know. So yeah, go to your Comic-Con. We're excited to do that. And we'll keep bringing you some more nerdy stuff.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and visit us at unposit.com.